Good morning. Welcome to the forecast discussion for June 7th, 2012. It is currently 7:30 a.m. and for most locations we're experiencing scattered cloud cover and temperatures comfortably in the mid 50s to lower 60s. Now we do have some areas of fog over Connecticut and the Hudson River Valley and portions of northeastern Pennsylvania. The most dense fog is currently over Connecticut and the Hudson River Valley, so if you're heading up that way, expect visibility to fall below 2 miles, in some locations below a mile. The fog will lift by 10 a.m., and most locations can expect scattered cloud cover today. But there will still be a threat for an isolated shower or a thunderstorm. Now, for most locations, also expect temperatures to rebound into the mid to upper 70s along the coast and upper 70s to lower 80s around the rest of the northern mid-Atlantic. The best potential for temperatures in the 80s will be in the Philadelphia metropolitan area, especially around southwestern New Jersey and southeastern Pennsylvania. Taking a look at the radar, you can see that there's still a few isolated showers here and there associated with these disturbances rotating around the powerful upper level low over portions of the Canadian Maritimes. So you can see as these disturbances dive south, a few isolated showers or thunderstorms will be possible, especially this afternoon and evening, much like what was seen yesterday with a thunderstorm that moved through the New York Harbor and then right along the coastal Monmouth County area in central New Jersey. Thunderstorm was weak, but still produced some interesting lightning pictures and a few heavy downpours here and there. Now, taking a look at the latest infrared satellite picture, you can see our upper level low spinning around the Canadian Maritimes, slowly lifting north and east. Here's another disturbance that is diving through northern New York towards the Mohawk River Valley and will eventually move through portions of the New York City metropolitan area. I think the Philadelphia metropolitan area today will remain dry as we have high pressure building in, and that sinking air is going to limit the potential for showers over eastern Pennsylvania and western New Jersey. But I think as you move towards the New York City metropolitan area and towards New England, you have a better potential to see one of those isolated showers or thunderstorms. Again, relatively weak, but still a threat. Otherwise, what we expect is high pressure slowly taking control with tranquil weather conditions expected tonight on through tomorrow. Now, again, there will be a threat for some fog, especially in the morning hours over portions of Connecticut, the Hudson River Valley, northern New Jersey, northeastern Pennsylvania. But for the most part, I'm expecting sky cloud cover tomorrow with temperatures rebounding nicely into the upper 70s along the coast and lower to mid 80s over the rest of the northern mid-Atlantic. Humidity will also be a bit on the increase. Now, we're going to have to keep an eye on a disturbance that is currently over northern Canada. You can see it right there. Now, this disturbance is going to intensify and set itself up around the Canadian Maritimes and around northern Maine. And what that's going to produce is what's called a backdoor cold front. Now, originally this was not in the forecast, but when all the model guidance is picking up on the same potential disturbance, and now we're getting more data on this disturbance now that it's moving into southern Canada, it looks like that the hottest temperatures I was forecasting yesterday are going to be pushed back more towards the Ohio River Valley. But that doesn't mean we're going to be cool, just not as hot as I was expecting. So let's take a look at the latest model guidance from the Penn State EWOL website using the European model guidance here. Again, for this evening, you can see that our upper level low that's been controlling our weather the past few days is lifting north and east. Now here's our disturbance moving into eastern Canada. For tomorrow, that disturbance moves towards the Canadian Maritimes. We're still going to be under a what's called confluent flow in the upper levels. And that's going to keep us mostly dry. I can't rule out an isolated shower or thunderstorm, especially over portions of the New York City metropolitan area. But for the most part, I'm expecting dry conditions. Now here's where it gets tricky. Our disturbance intensifies and produces what's called an upper level low over basically the Canadian Maritimes and northeastern Maine. And that produces a weak frontal boundary that moves through New England and potentially through Connecticut. What this is going to produce is a shift in the upper level winds. Originally in the forecast, these upper level winds were from the southwest, which means all that warm air building in the Tennessee River Valley will be driven right into the northern mid-Atlantic. But now, because of this trough, the upper level winds and mid level winds are more from the west and northwest, which means that the warmest temperatures are going to be shunted to the south and west, where you're going to see your upper 80s to lower 90s over, let's say, south central and southwestern Pennsylvania and the Ohio River Valley, while we stay more in the mid 80s, which isn't too terrible, but it's not the upper 80s to lower 90s. Now, one caveat to this whole pattern here. These frontal boundaries are very tricky, and they can create very dynamic thermal gradients. For example, to the northeast of the backdoor cold front, temperatures could be stuck in the mid 70s all day because of a mid-level disturbance associated with the front. While locations to the west of the backdoor cold front could actually have temperatures spike into the upper 80s to lower 90s because of strong sinking air from associated mid-level disturbance. So this isn't let's say, a nailed down forecast. There's a lot of volatility here, and it's going to remain in place for Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, where some locations are going to stay on the cool side, cooler than what I'm currently forecasting in the upper 70s. The best potential for that would be, let's say, Connecticut and Long Island, whereas locations around western New Jersey and eastern Pennsylvania could easily spike above my current forecast in the mid 80s because of skies clearing, sinking air, and temperatures able to rise into the upper 80s to lower 90s because of that influence. So each day we're going to keep an eye on exactly where these disturbances are located, how strong they are, and whether or not they're producing any showers or thunderstorms. The best potential for showers and thunderstorms with this type of pattern appears to be on Saturday night with a mid-level disturbance. But again, we have to keep an eye on that because when it comes to mid-level disturbances, can't always trust the model guides this far out. But certainly it's going to be a weather pattern that's going to keep me on my toes and you wondering what the heck is going on. So this weather pattern remains in place through this weekend. Eventually, though, we're going to have a cold front that's going to move through again on Wednesday night. This cold front will generally have most of the lifting focused more in eastern Canada, but we'll still be under the threat for scattered showers and thunderstorms. And in reality, it's really not a cold front. It's more of a pattern shift. It kicks out this marine influence from the backdoor cold front. And instead, what we start to get is more of an influence from the Ohio River Valley and also the Tennessee River Valley. And that means we warm up once again. Now, again, this upper level low will have to be watched to see exactly what type of influences it has on New England and the exact position. And we're pretty much going to be dealing with this for the entire summer, where the bulk and the heart of the heat is in the Tennessee River Valley and Mississippi River Valley, and then every so often is driven into the northern mid-Atlantic, and our temperatures spike. And in some cases, that's going to lead to very hot weather conditions. And we're going to be in this seesaw throughout the entire summer, dealing with these troughs over the northern Atlantic and the ridge over the Mississippi River Valley. So that's our forecast for today. Of course, I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. You can follow the latest weather information on nynjpaweather.com and nynjpaweather on Twitter and Facebook. Have a wonderful day. Stay safe out there.